I wanted to illustrate a few things in particular about our suggestions and recommendations spraying Enlist herbicide. Is we want you to look at your nozzles. And so if you're moving from another herbicide platform that uses ultra coarse nozzles specifically, you need to pay special attention to this. Or if you're going to spray your own materials out of your own applicator with your own nozzles, you need to pay attention to what we're talking about as far as application with the correct nozzles in order to get the best weed control. And it's real critical that we get good coverage with Enlist herbicides, and of course all the tank mix partners we have as well, whether it's glyphosate or Liberty. And so moving forward, the nozzles, if you look back on where nozzles have been in the past, and so typically nozzles have progressed from what I'll call a flat fan nozzle, which if you look at this, you can tell we're running about 50 psi, and you flat fan and you see all the driftable fines coming off here, okay? And if you'll pay attention, there's a area right here in front of my finger that is a sheet of water that stretches and it pops and breaks, and that's called a jet sheet. And that in itself breaks and creates all these fines that you're seeing. Now this application in particular would be very good for something like a fungicide, or initially Roundup was a really good product to be used with this, or an insecticide where you wanted maximum coverage and fines were not a real big consideration. And so that's not a nozzle that would be recommended with Enlist. And so we go from the extreme of a XR nozzle, extended range flat fan, and then the next set of nozzles that we've gone to would be the introduction of some of the dicamba products. Have gone to an ultra coarse nozzle, which is the turbo tip air inducted nozzle. So those are ultra coarse nozzles. And I think I'll show you the difference here on this first set on the coarseness of this particular pattern. And if you look, most people try to run this pressure down to about 35 to 40 on their recommendations on their label. And if you look at this particular pattern, you can see that it has very large droplets. This is just straight water, okay? Very large droplets, and it's very good at controlling the driftable fines, but it's not very good at giving good maximum coverage on the plant. And so the droplet size is ultra coarse, and it's going to be necessary on the dicamba systems to use these nozzles. The Enlist system has these approved nozzles, but they're not the best nozzle to use because of the issue of larger droplets, and we're missing some of the material, some of the plant material and coverage. And so two nozzles specifically that we recommend for most of our Enlist applications, whether it's with glyphosate, glufosinate, or clethodim has become a popular additive. And so there's two nozzles that we recommend, and one being the air inducted extended range nozzle. And so AIXR is a T-jet nozzle, and it's made to give excellent coverage with a consistent droplet size. And so the droplet size will be the low end of the coarse range, okay? And so this droplet, and we try to run this pressure up around the maximum, close to 50, 55, close to 10% of the top of the range, so 50 to 55 psi. And you can see that it has a nice, more even, consistent pattern, and not very many driftable fines. So if you compare that to the same product, same nozzle next to it with Colex D. And so the difference between this is Stray Water and Col-XD. And if you look at the Col-XD, you can see that it is a lot cleaner pattern at the same pressure as the straight water. And this in itself delivers, you can see the jet sheet right there is about that long. And so we're not getting near the shear out of the end of that nozzle on the water than what we would do. So this is the difference between Col-XD technology and just straight water applications. So the nozzle accounts for about 50% reduction in driftable fines using the correct nozzle, and the formulation of Col-XD technology accounts for the other 50% of the driftable fines. So over 90% of your driftable fines can be reduced by using the right nozzle with the right formulation. And so we have a lot of people that have used not only glyphosate but Liberty, and Liberty is real specific about coverage. It's a contact material. And so what we've looked at on Liberty applications, specifically the AIXR, the one I just ran, was very good. But if I had to choose one specific nozzle making Liberty applications with Enlist 1, I would choose this air-inducted twin turbo jet tip. And so this particular nozzle has two distinct spray patterns coming out of it. One of them being at a 20-degree angle in both directions, so it gets a little bit more forgiving as far as coverage. But if you look at here, the difference between straight water, which is that's a really pretty nice pattern with straight water. But if you look at it in relation, there is no sheet of water there. There is no breakup. So there is very few fines coming off this, and this is with the Col-XD technology. This is an excellent application for Liberty herbicide with Enlist 1, because it gives a consistent, even pattern of droplets that are the same size throughout the whole spray pattern. And that's the idea on this, is to be able to get consistency in your droplet size. And we want to try to get somewhere between 200 and 300 microns as far as droplet size on the leaf surface. So this is a good Liberty nozzle. We've tested it out on cotton and soybeans, and it looks really good in relation to getting good coverage for Enlist and Liberty applications together. So the nozzles are a critical piece to our success. If I can point to one thing about having a successful Enlist application, it's to use the right nozzle at the right pressure. For a full list of approved nozzles, please go to enlist.com/nozzles.